Thank you again to everybody that is joining us. My name is Ryan Knight, and I'm representing Empowered for X and our nonprofit, the Afro Caribbean Business Network. Today, we are digging deeper into different funding and grant opportunities available for for-profit companies, but I want you to keep in mind how we can access nonprofit type grants, even if you're a for-profit. So a little bit about myself. Consider myself a social entrepreneur. We've started a few different companies, the main one of which you may have heard of, the Detailing Nights, that does mobile waterless car cleaning. We go to people's houses and their offices, cleaning their cars on the spot without water and our eco-friendly cleaning supplies. And what I'm most proud of with that company is our youth entrepreneurship program. We would work with those in high school or college, or even those outside of school, and also those coming out of detention to show them entrepreneurship is a viable option. And I always say, like, you can start your own business instead of going out and begging for a job. But really, right now, I do work closely with the Empowered for X team, one of the partners there, where we want to surround your organization with the right supports in order to help your business grow, and also being able to work with entrepreneurs of African and Caribbean heritage. Working with entrepreneurs of African and Caribbean heritage as part of the ACBN. But a little bit about Empowered for X. Actually, can you just give me one sec?
Ryan, you're muted.
How's that? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you again, Pallavi, for that. I was about to just keep going. Wanted to give a quick shout out to our valued partners, of course, Alterna Savings. That actually I have to update that logo. They have a new logo now, so they've been a big supporter of the work that we're doing. Shout out to Susan Henry there, as well as shout out to Renee Devereaux, part of Sheridan's Edge program, the Entrepreneurship Discovery and Growth Engine. Dream Legacy Foundation, that is our partner where we send our Black tech talent. So if you are working on a tech startup, definitely want to plug into the Black Innovation Fund and the Black Fellowship, the Black Innovation Fellowship. Yes, no, the Black Fellowship Fund. I'll get that exact name for you, but they work with funding Black tech startups and taking them through the Ryerson DMZ. So that partnership is really great. Calabash, if you are a service provider, please connect with Calabash. They are a cooperative of expert service providers. So always looking for new opportunities that service providers can tap into, whether that's working for nonprofit organizations that need expert consultants, or, and again, for-profit companies that also need expert consultants. Calabash is a repository of all these expert service providers in the community. And SETC, of course, the social economy through social inclusion, and ZSC, there are business development partners. So shout out to them. And of course, Toronto Community Benefits Network that was there from the beginning. Shout out to Rosemary Powell and her team. Oh, geez. Hold on. My son's school calling. All right, sorry about that. Again, can you hear me now before I continue?
Yeah.
All right, thanks so much. So really quickly to give an overview of the Afro-Caribbean Business Network, we were started about 4 years ago really to be a resource for, again, entrepreneurs of African Caribbean heritage to figure out what stage they're in and then help them create a blueprint to grow their companies. It initially started with more just like info sessions and networking events. Now it's shifted to capacity building. So we started our own microloan program. So if you are looking for a loan between 500 to 25,000, we're able to facilitate that ourselves. If you're looking for marketing help, whether it's strategy or execution, we've built that support in-house again. And also, if you're looking for actual data and statistics about the Black entrepreneurship community, we've been working on the labor market study research and being able to really pinpoint what industries we're in and how to get the best supports to those specific industries. So always, hey, reach out to us, check out our website. It's acbncanada.com. That business needs assessment that you fill out, we then call you, have a one-on-one, figure out what supports you need, and then plug you into the right one. And of course, plugging you into the right one, we're over 3,800. I think we're eclipsed 4,000 Black entrepreneurs in the community right now. The last survey that we did, it showed 71% are female entrepreneurs, and we're seeing 91% of them are the business founders and CEOs. But what, again, I'm most proud of is our partnerships. We are now over 30 Black business focused organizations that have partnered across Canada. So extending our reach to close to 30,000 Black entrepreneurs. And this is where, because we have that data now, we're able to really pinpoint what resources are needed. So being on this call and looking at like what grants are available, if more grants are needed in the community, we're able to now put that pressure on whether it's the government or the corporate community to say, hey, our business community needs X, and we can source that for you. So really quickly, our pillars, of course, entrepreneurship. I feel everybody should start their own business. Even if you're working somewhere full time, you should have a side hustle to bring in additional income. And also, if you're a youth, if you still live at home, now's the best time to start a business and test out entrepreneurship to see if it's for you. And hey, if it all goes downhill, at least you still have somewhere to sleep and, like mortgaging your house. So economic inclusion, I believe entrepreneurship is that great equalizer. It allows, it's low barrier to entry, but it does have a long journey and the ups and downs of the journey, but you have unlimited potential. So I love the convenient aspect. Of course, these type of virtual meetings, but being able to meet in person is going to come back. But what we're all here for, and what I really want to focus on, is the access to funding. So I mentioned that we do have the microloans that we do ourselves, but I want to make sure that we're able to find the different types of grants that are available for you at the current moment. So I like to show our track record because we are a new organization. Even as a for-profit company, when I started getting grants, I was really new. I incorporated Detailing Nights in 2011, and then by like 2013, 2014, we had started getting our first grants. So these types of grants range from, if you see here, like a $500 pitch competition. This one, the Ignite Capital, was also a pitch competition. The city of Brampton, we got like $1,000 to train volunteers, up to 12,500 to do an event. And then provincially, we were able to get over 300, almost $400,000 to run that youth program that I was talking about with Detailing Nights. And you'll see we got that twice. Where's the other one? Yeah, we got 210,000 from them as well. And then we were able to get some bigger dollars federally, the Supporting Black Communities Initiative. We were able to get funding through there, and also the Ecosystem Fund, which we got over $1 million more recently. And that's how we were able to partner with the other Black focused business organizations in the ecosystem. So all that to say is, what I enjoy the most is helping other organizations and other businesses get funding as well. So the story I typically tell is about Rescue Youth International, where they were running a nonprofit. not really getting a lot of grants for the nonprofit, but we were able to partner with them, figure out how to create a social enterprise that we got funding for $30,000 from the investment readiness program. And now that social enterprise, which is a food truck, will be able to generate profits that keep the nonprofit sustainable or keep it operating. That to me is what social enterprise is, the what its best use case is. It's a nonprofit that needs dollars to operate. They can create a revenue generating activity, a food truck that now uh, the profits fuel the nonprofit. And then Custodia, they're a for-profit company, so they're doing a lot of work with seniors in the community and helping them with landscaping. They were able to access the investment readiness program as well. Even though they're a for-profit, they're operating as a social enterprise, and we're able to get up to 100,000. So typically we do sessions about the grant writing blueprint. We're not going to go too deep into that today. We'll actually, if you become part of the Grant Hunter University, you get access to the videos that go deeper into the blueprint. What we use these info sessions for is to actually find where the money is and then see if it's something that we can apply for. So I wanted, when I sent out the message, I wanted to show everyone about the CIBC new loan program that they created. So I'm curious if anybody has already seen this or applied for the CIBC loan, because they launched this month, at the beginning of this month, and it really was created to help entrepreneurs, one, get access to $250,000 of financing. But what a lot of people are missing is the grant component of it. So if you don't qualify directly for the loan, or if you know that you need to finish your business plan or do your cash flow projections, there's some other criteria. I'll actually pull up the criteria that they ask for. If you don't have those things in place, you can now apply for this $2,000 grant and then help to put those things in place for you. And again, go forward with the loan application. So it does tie into the loan, but I would say utilize this $2,000 in order to really fine tune your business. So getting your business plan done or getting the cash flow projections, those two pieces, I would say, are the main components.
Needs to stir up. You got to stir it up.
Yes, sorry, was there a question?
Sorry about that.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, so I was saying using this grant to actually fine tune your business operations to then open you up to additional funding that's out there. And I get a lot of pushback about loans, and I totally understand you don't really want to take a loan on because now it's debt that you're putting onto your balance sheet and you have to pay it back. But what I would encourage is revisiting the perspective that you use for loans. If you're going to go out to get capital for your business, there's two paths. There's either kind of save it up, sweat equity, and purchase the thing that you need or get the money based on the sales you're making and the profit and putting that aside and saving it up. If you needed to do that to save up $10,000 to purchase a certain piece of equipment or do a $10,000 type marketing campaign, you have to start calculating how long would it take you to raise that 10,000. Where if you got the loan for the 10,000, you'd be able to inject that directly into your company, get that piece of equipment, or do the marketing campaign. And now the sales that you generate from that money the capital that you injected in, is able to pay back the loan monthly payments. Now, if it doesn't go well, when you've exhausted all your savings in order to either get that piece of equipment or do the marketing, you really have nothing to fall back on. If you got a loan and you're able to increase your sales, or the sales don't go up as much as you think, now you're only stuck with a smaller monthly payment that you can pull from your savings to kind of bridge until the sales pick up. So what I've seen is a lot of entrepreneurs go into bankruptcy because they've mortgaged their house, they've taken all their savings, they've maxed out credit cards just to kind of keep afloat and keep the business going. Where if they could get access to, let's say, 50,000, 100,000, now they have a longer runway in order to operate their business without feeling like everything is on the line. So something to think about if you're looking at, well, do I want to get the grant because the grant is now tied into helping me apply for this loan? I would say if you figure out the dollar amount that you need to run your business in the most optimal way, don't try to save up that money and then operate an optimal way. Figure out how to get that capital so that you can operate the way that you envision in your mind to operate. And now, hey, if something goes wrong, you can work with them with payment arrangements. There's so many options when you're using other people's money that you don't have when you only use your own money. And I would say, again, I'll give you like the devil's advocate. So people will push back and say, well, you shouldn't be starting your business with a loan. You shouldn't be just taking out debt when you're just starting out, which is valid because you should be putting that first investment from yourself to say, okay, is this business viable? But there's no example of a company that's grown at any scale that only use their own money. They always look for injections of capital because that's where you get exponential growth. So if you're totally fine with, linear growth, you just want, hey, to have a good business that's operating, paying the bills, and you're living a good life, that is totally fine. And again, don't add debt to increase your stress. But if you do want to see that business start to increase and you start to hire a bigger team and you start to expand, that's where an injection of capital will get you there quicker than just trying to save it up on your own. And I would love, again, if there's anybody else on the call that does have a rebuttal for why they feel that loans are a total non-starter, I would love to hear it. We'll leave some time in about 5 minutes to go through it. So I would say sign up. It's quick. The loan application is really just a form that notifies them so that they can give you a call. They'll ask you when's the best time, and I'll show you what they're going to send you back. Hold on. This one. Oh, wait. So this is the email that you might get, but there was actually the link. How come it's not showing the list of stuff that you need? Oh, here we go. So pretty much they're going to call you, ask you a bit of questions about your business, and then send you an email saying like, these are the things that we need from you in order to process your loan application. And I don't know how the formatting will be in the chat. Yeah, that looks terrible. So I'll put this, Pallavi, if you help me just put it into an email. So afterwards, you'll get this email with what they're looking for. So looking at it, you'll know if you don't have, let's say, your financial statements done. Let them know that you want to apply for the grant so that you can get your financial statements done. If you don't have your business plan and the 24-month projections done, let them know, hey, I'm interested in the loan, but I know I need to go through the grant process because I want to get my business plan done and my projections done. The rest of the things are more like if you're looking to purchase something specific, then you can look at providing the invoices for the equipment. They have a personal net worth form, which is attached here. So I'll also include that in the email that we send out. Your notice of assessment, you can log into your canada.ca, like your personal account, to get your last 2 notice of assessments. If you only have business income, like you're running a corporation or a sole proprietor, well, a sole proprietor would be a regular income tax. If you have a corporation and you're doing your T1 general, then you would need to add that. And they ask if you have, what is this, investment statements. I don't know if that's so important, but they do ask for it. And the latest MPAC assessment. I don't even know what an MPAC assessment is. So if you own commercial or personal property, you'd have to provide that assessment. So this is where I ask, like, is this any easier than a traditional path through the bank? I don't know. And I'll leave that up to anybody that goes through the process and has gone through loan processes before with other banks. To me, it all seems the same. And I can even pull up an email from RBC that sent me a list of stuff that they need for me to process a loan. To me, it all looks the same. If you don't have a business plan with good projections and your NOA is out of whack and your personal net worth is in the negative, most times you're not going to get through. But what is different with CIBC is that they have the grant portion in order to help you fine tune some of the things that might be rocky. So that's where don't miss out on that ability to now take in a grant to work on your business. And the other one that does the same thing is the BBPA Bates program. So I'll see what the recent update is, but this one was supposed to open back in January, and then it got pushed to February the 18th. So it should be open. Yeah, so it should be opening in within a couple of weeks. But just before I talk more about the Bates program, was there any questions about the CIBC program that came to mind that I could actually answer before we go on? Because I don't want you to, or if you put it in the chat, we can answer it after.
Just quickly, in terms of some of the criterias, if you're a new corporation, what would you have to provide there, or how would you answer those questions?
Right. So it would be just the business plan with the projections.
Okay.
You wouldn't have to provide the financial statements.
Wonderful. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So yeah, feel free. But I wanted to talk about the Bates program because really what CIBC has created is similar to what the BBPA Bates program already does. So, and there's no $2,000 limit. So keep that in mind. And you can pick 3 different things. So actually, it might show it here where it actually breaks down the different services that you can get done for your business. So this is where you see the accounting and bookkeeping, business planning and budgeting. So what the BBPA does is you apply and you ask, okay, these are the different areas of my business that I need help with. They then partner you with a service provider, and the service provider, so the BBPA covers the cost of the service provider. So if you get partnered with a service provider that's going to do your business plan, the service provider would submit their invoice directly to the BBPA in the Bates program instead of you having to come out of pocket and pay for the service. So this is where you want to apply for multiple things. So I would always start with the BBPA. Also, I would start with the CIBC. And so that way you can see what things can I cover with the CIBC grant, and then what things can I get covered with the BBPA grant, because you don't want to duplicate, or let's say you get the 2,000 from the Black Opportunity Fund, and I'll go back into who that organization is, and they say, okay, with this money, you can get a business plan done. And now you go back here and you realize, but I needed my financials done and I needed my bookkeeping done. So, and I needed, let's say, what is the other? Your filing. So you wanted to do your filing and GST filing. Because you spent the whole 2,000 on your business plan, where you could have gotten that done here with the BBPA, and now you could have used that 2,000 for something else. So I would say exhaust what you can get done with the BBPA, and then whatever is left for you to get done, and you get the 2,000, then you can use the 2,000 for that. So don't feel like you have to pick one or the other. I would say stack them up. And let's see which one's next. All right. Oh, I'm not putting this in the chat. Actually, I'll put this into the chat so that you have access to it. And then the CIBC, this link is where you can go and get the CIBC loan application. But if you wanted to read a bit more about the program, I'll put this link in there as well. And so you may have heard RBC also has a Black Entrepreneurship Loan Program. We'll probably dig into that one another day, but it doesn't have a grant component to it. So it might not even fit for these info sessions. But if it's something that you're interested in, I've been like kind of going through the process to see what it's like. It's taking longer than I was anticipating. So hopefully CIBC doesn't take that long to start rolling out funds. Again, they are only 7 days in. So we'll see maybe by the end of this month if anybody's being approved for the loan side and also approved for the grant side, because I haven't seen what the process is for the grants. So this is something that, because if you go here, it just takes you to the Black Opportunity Fund's website. Let's see if it says in their funding programs. Let's see. Oh, I guess they're SEOing Black Opportunity Fund. Make sure that they get found. I'm not, okay, Black Entrepreneur Program. What is this BOF lending program? Okay, so this says we'll be launching its lending program for Black-lit Canadians in April of 2022. So that sounds like it's something different. That might be with one of the other financial institutions. Let's see, Black Entrepreneur Program. So this is the CIBC one. So they partnered with the Canadian Black Chamber of Commerce to offer the wraparound service. CIBC, it doesn't say here, but I know they committed $15 million to the loan portion and $2 million to the grant portion with a max of $2,000 per grant. So it says apply now. So then it takes you back to CIBC. So this shows that you can't apply directly for the 2,000. You do have to go through the CIBC portal, which is here. And then when you go through the CIBC portal, it takes you to this, you get a call back and you can say like what time is best for you to call. If you do miss the call, they will email you and ask you for a follow-up. Then they'll tell you what you need for the loan application. And at some point, you must be able to say, I don't have those things. I would like to apply for the grant. So I'm not exactly sure where that happens in the flow, but if you get that call or that email, I would say bring it up with them on the call to say like, hey, I know these criteria. I know I need to work on my cash flow projections. I would like to apply for the wraparound supports and the $2,000 grant. And then report back and let us know what the process is, because the process is not on their website though. That would be good to know. Actually, before I say that, let's make sure. So we did see it said apply now, right? So it says apply now. It doesn't give a flow of what happens when, which is actually a good point. We should put that on. Oh, here we go. So program details. So you're going to help you in areas of financial literacy, building a business plan, creating your financial projections, and improving your credit score, which is something to mention. For the CIBC loan, you do need a 600 credit score or above. So if you're below 600, again, I would say, hey, I know I'm below the credit score threshold. Can I get put into the grant stream so that I can work on improving that? But I'm curious what you could use the $2,000 on that would help you improve your credit score. And one other piece that is important that it says here, it doesn't matter if you're declined from another financial institution. you'd be able to go into this grant program, which is why I'm curious they don't allow you to just apply directly in. Uh-oh, so what is this? Okay. So program offering options will include a business plan writing program, Avro Business Acceleration. I don't know what that is. A 6-month personal credit acceleration, a 6-month business acceleration program, and a 12-month Propel Mastermind incubation program. So do you get $2,000 and then go through this for a year? Or do you get $2,000 and you can get your business plan done? Because this now sounds like something completely different. And the food incubator program. So look at here. So upon completion of key program milestones, clients will receive payment from Black Opportunity Fund in the form of a non-repayable funding to support their journey as they build their business capacity. So that raises another question. So if you're in this 12-month Propel Masterclass, do you get the 2,000 after a month? Like, how long are the milestones? Or do you get the 2,000 up front? Well, it's not looking like you get it up front. So you definitely have to complete some sort of milestone. So there's acceleration. Are these things happening concurrently or consecutively is another good question. Yeah, I would love to see somebody that has gone through this. Because if you've been declined at another bank, when you click on apply now, it should not take you to CIBC. It should take you to the Black Opportunity Fund application. Anywho, so this looks like a 12-month program, although there's multiple 6-month programs. That's why that's all that's happening. So are you doing the 6-month literacy program at the same time you're doing the 6-month personal credit, and at the same time you're doing 6-month acceleration, and then at the same time you're doing a 90-day? This is interesting. I have to see somebody that's gone through this, or at least got accepted into it, to see what this process is. All right. So we'll leave it there for now. As we get more information, I'll be sure to report back. But so that was a CIBC grant one, BBPA. The Trillium Foundation is more for nonprofit, but I wanted to show everybody. Sorry, give me one sec. All right. Jeez, my phone is just hot today. And right, I wanted to show you this portal because a lot of times there are a lot of grants that are available for nonprofit companies, but as a for-profit, you want to be able to figure out a way to partner with a nonprofit. And this will give you a good sense of where to start to look. So these are all the grants that are available for Indian province of Ontario. If any of these align with what your mission is for your business, you should look at finding a nonprofit company that also shares that mission to collaborate on a grant for one of these funds. So let's say, hey, if you focus on Aboriginal, or if you focus on, I think Celebrate Ontario is doing an event that takes place in Ontario. Again, if you work in mental health, there's so many different types of grants that if there's one that you're able to execute, find a nonprofit partner and then go for this grant together. So I just wanted to show everybody that there are a ton of grants available. We have to figure out how to position ourselves in front of the flow of money. Let me just go back. All right. And of course, the investment readiness program isn't open yet, so we'll keep an eye on that one. And the last time we went through the business benefits finder, so we can send you the replay to that one. And as we wrap up, just letting people know, hey, if you need support with all of this grant hunter, grant research, grant writing, please touch base with Empowered for X. We can definitely help you get through the process. Of course, we only exist to see you win. And as much as we can find them, we want to make sure that you actually get across the finish line and get these applications in. The more we get in, the better our blueprint becomes. The better the blueprint, the more successful the grants are. So please feel free to take down my number, add me to WhatsApp, and email me if you have specific questions. But again, we do this every 2 weeks. So 2 weeks from now, we're going to be digging deeper into available grants and seeing which ones that we can apply for. So yeah, now we can definitely open it up to questions, or anything I went through too quickly, please let me know and I'll double back. But thank you for listening. And I wasn't looking at the chat, so I apologize if you had already put it in there. And I'm curious, what is the amount of money that would help you execute what you need to do for your business? Because that helps with where to look for grants as well. Let's see. Shelly, did you apply for the CIBC yet?
No, I didn't. I'm just trying to get all the information and then I'll take a look at it.
Oh, okay, cool. And how about you, Latanya?
No, I haven't. New, so I'm just trying to get some info where to go. So it's been very informative. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, and again, I'm here if anybody has questions. If not, I'll give you back your afternoon. But again, thank you for taking the time to come in, check it out, see if it's a fit. I would say if you're looking for anything up to 250,000, at minimum, check it out and see what they have to offer. Talk to a representative there, and then make your own decision. If that one's a fit, RBC has one, Face Coalition has one, CIBC, this is their one. The money is there, so let's not miss the money just because we didn't have the information. So definitely, yeah, let's put some pressure on them and get some money.
Sorry, I had a quick question.
Sure.
Yes, sorry about it. So I know that there is you could register your business as a nonprofit, and there's an option to also register it as a nonprofit charity. Mm-hmm. So what is the main difference when you're registering? Say, for instance, you registered as a nonprofit. Is there a difference between the two?
Yeah, so a nonprofit, so all charities start out as nonprofits, and then you go for your charity designation. So in order to get a charity number, you have to kind of qualify. So the government, you have to identify like what type of charity you're going to be, like how you're going to operate. And then you go through the process of applying, and the government kind of asks you questions. And after, it can take as quick as 6 months or as long as 2 years to get that charity number. And so the difference for your nonprofit is it allows you to give charitable tax receipts. So when a person gives, I think it's at least $20, that person that gave you the donation, you can now provide them a tax receipt. So it's beneficial for people to give to charities because of that. If you're just a regular nonprofit, you're not able to issue those tax receipts.
Okay. All right, thank you. Appreciate the answer.
Yeah, my pleasure. think somebody was asking. Okay, I'll put that in case anybody missed my contact info. I'll put it here. Oh, and Tim Frey, thank you. So at the end of each program, you get $500 from CIBC as a grant through BOF. So do you pick the 4 programs you want to go through? So either a 12-month Propel Masterclass, a 90-day business acceleration for business plan. You can choose a 90-day Avro business acceleration, a 90-day food incubator program, or a 6-month acceleration through Empowered for X, a 6-month personal credit acceleration, or a 6-month financial literacy program. So that might be that you're able to choose up to 4 and then get $500 at the completion of each. That's good to know. Thank you for that, Tim. All right. Yeah, and again, I don't want to feel like I'm keeping you if you gotta go, but I'm here to answer questions for like the next 10 minutes. I'll be here. But again, if you did have any questions, feel free to hop off, enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Otherwise, I'm just gonna be chopping it up. So if you have any specific questions, I am here. But always thank you for taking the time. I know it's a lot of information, but we don't want to miss money that is designed for you. So keep that in mind.
Thank you.
No problem. I'll talk to you later.
So I had another quick question, right? Say, for instance, I register my business as a nonprofit. Is it possible for me to put a for-profit business under that business, with the nonprofit being the incorporate, basically the umbrella?
So it is possible. It just depends on, I guess, how you want to operate the nonprofit, because the nonprofit itself typically generates revenue through donations and fundraising. So now if the nonprofit has a revenue generating activity, which would be the business, it can either be directly underneath the nonprofit, so the nonprofit would register the for-profit, or it's just underneath it and it's not registered at all. But typically you'd want that business to have its own entity, so have its own registration, its own bank account. You can't operate the business just through the nonprofit as its primary source of revenue.
Okay.